monitor.
The glasses. Hi, good evening everybody. Welcome to the Rum Table Talk.
Rum shop.
Oh Lord, the Rum Shop Talk. As always, I forgetting the name of the thing. Forgive me, people. Forgive me. Fearless. Where is Fearless? He's missing.
I'm coming.
Stop coming and come, boy. Hurry up, chop chop.
Well, some people like it to take a little longer to come
Boy,
in.
just come and sit down now, boy. Please. Thank you.
Alright. So
You want me to do my introduction here?
so long you here and you do the introduction.
But you was deciding on what to do. Look here, boy.
I can
Fearless. Fearless. We're
swear.
going to have some behavior this evening. We're going to have some sort of order in this place this evening, eh? Your bad behavior, leave it home.
No reward for bad behavior.
You really want that, boy? So, I can go ahead with the introduction.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I don't
Start
understand
it.
it calling up here. Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Rum Table Talk.
The rum shop
The
talk.
Rum Shop Talk. Oh, Francis Flashdown.
Go ahead.
This evening we have, as always, Dr. Enviro. We have a beautiful young lady with us, Miss Crystal, me the native, the fearless warrior, okay, Mr. Hall, and Mysterio, always mysterious in the corner. But before we start, we want to say good evening, good morning, good afternoon to some people all over the world.
Yes.
I would like to say good evening to some friends of mine that I made in Bangladesh. I'm sending out prayers and sympathy and everything to India. And of course, I'm saying good evening to Nigeria. It's a pleasure to have you all here. Mr. Fearless.
Well, I want to say special good afternoon, good morning. Nobody will be showing tomorrow night. So,
You still have the same morning, evening, afternoon.
well, yeah, to those people all across the world and into US where Bonnie Golding, and in the UK and Italy, those who are locked on,
We reach far.
we are reaching far and
Italy?
far. Yeah, and if you realize now that the page is growing and more and more people posting a lot of talk, rum shop talk, so a lot of things going on. I know Crystal have some greetings.
Yes, Tamara Baka Rampasad of Canada.
Hey, Tamara.
Alright, so today we want to talk about, because everybody talking about COVID, and we really want to talk about the impact on the environment, COVID and its impact on the environment itself, and whether it's having a positive or negative effect on the environment, because people may just look at it from one aspect, but not look at it from all the different aspects. Because when you look at it, it's only people being sick
The negativity.
on the
of it.
negativity. But there are some positivities. And I know that the native have some good news, and she wants to ask some questions. So I will,
just throw me under the
you.
bus.
Yeah, throw it on you one time.
No, well, Dr. Enviro, a pleasant good evening, sir.
Pleasant evening.
I was looking at some of the positive impacts that COVID was having on the environment, where in different countries, now I'm not only dealing with Trinidad, I'm dealing with the world and the wider region, where pollution is down. You're seeing animals that you thought were on the verge of being extinct, being rehabilitated. You are seeing plants and fauna and all these things that man destroyed is actually coming back to life. So I think that is one of the positive sides to having Mr. COVID-19. I don't know if you agree with me.
What's your question? Do I agree with your statement or not?
But
Yes.
what is causing that in fact?
Okay. First off, before I start speaking, let me first off, without apology, say hello to my daughter, my darling daughter, Tamara Lynn Barker Rampersad of Canada. let me also say a pleasant good afternoon to a good friend, and I dare say someone who is very interested in me and I am in her, Miss God Gift, Asian. Let me also acknowledge our wide viewership in Nigeria, because she and you see, I don't want people to get me wrong. God Gifts have spread our video and our blog throughout Nigeria, and it's the reason I want to acknowledge her this evening. I want to acknowledge the people of Italy and the United Nations and the United Kingdom, because I have had response from the United Nations where particular people have asked me questions and I've answered. And let me make this abundantly clear. I am not a medical practitioner.
You don't get a medical practitioner.
I am a wetland ecologist and marine biologist.
That's just good at his job.
I'm just that good because I read. I read a lot. And I want to say good afternoon to my colleagues sitting around the table with me, Crystal, Native, and Mr. Brown, aka Fearless Warrior. I wish to say.
And how you can forget Mysterio, always mysterious in the corner.
Mysterio is always there.
Very mysterious in the corner.
Now, let me get to your question. Without further ado. COVID-19 have done for the human race and countries and environment something that we have been trying to do for decades. It has limited the amount of interaction we have with the natural environment, rivers, streams, estuaries, and the such. Today we are seeing an abundance of life form which would have otherwise disappeared if the governments did not step in and lay down the law. The fact is, while I am stating here and I'm being absolutely clear that I treat COVID-19, and the reason why it's 19 is because in 2019 it came out, so they used a year to signify that when the COVID-19 stepped out. The thing is, while I have absolute respect for the pathogen, I will not lie, nor will I pretend that it is not having a positive impact on the environment. And as such, there are those who will disagree with me, there are those who will want to argue with me. By all means, I accept criticism, but make sure your criticism of me and what I say is based on facts and not by emotion. The fact is, since the COVID-19 came into being and government had to place restrictions, I am now seeing a positive impact on our environment. Not the entire environment, mind you, let me make that abundantly clear. Not the entire environment, but the environment where the rivers, estuaries, and other areas associated with this, we are now having life forms that we thought would have gone out of existence, now being repopulated. And I am thinking, and I want to make this clear, I do not support people breaking the law of the COVID-19 restriction, nor do I support the fact that COVID-19 is a good thing. I am simply supporting the fact that because of governments, and let me make this clear, governments throughout the world have applied certain restriction that is having a positive impact on our environmental conditions. Any other questions?
But tell me something, because in China I would have seen in order for the Olympics to take place, they had to actually cut down the amount of emissions going into the atmosphere in order to bring down this cloud. Has COVID, now that we have COVID, how is that impacting even in Trinidad in terms of cleaner air? Are you seeing that?
No.
You're not breathing cleaner air?
No. Because there are people in the world who believe in their own personal economic growth. I can't deal with that. I'm not an economist. But I know we have people who can deal with the economy and they can better explain it. I can't explain it, but I do not see that happening. What I can say at this point is that governments, and I want to make this clear, governments, including Trinidad and Tobago, the governments are taking the necessary action to ensure that our environment is being taken care of. And here's the thing.
But hold up. No, but hold up. But you say in terms of government taking the necessary action to ensure that the environment, but is it that because of their action, indirectly, they didn't realize that they're actually saving the environment?
What happened? Because of the restriction, you had less movement, you had less demand for fuel, and therefore less emissions. So the longer the COVID restrictions remain around the world, the less emissions you're going to get. Hence in India, it clean up a lot of the air in Delhi, for instance.
And the
most polluted city in the world is Delhi.
Yeah.
And that helped clean it up a lot. China, same thing. Many other parts of the world.
They were saying that in the Ganges were actually clean.
A lot of the whole way, because of the normal human interaction, the way we dispose of waste, those actions were polluting waterways and estuaries and so on. So because you have to stay home, in many countries you actually have curfews, you can't go nowhere. Trains not running as much, buses, cars, shipping was restricted, everything was restricted. So it has given the earth a chance to breathe. Oil prices have been depressed for a long time because of the lack of demand. You have to stay home and nowhere to go. So that has created, as we have said before, a very positive effect on the environment because of a cleaner air to breathe, less pollution and so on.
Because I don't know if people see it. I don't know if people see it. That even the climate change, we having a climate change. Because for the first time in how many years? Decades, we actually getting more rain than actual than the sun, and the sun is not as humid, well, what we call hot, as before. So isn't that the governments and them now realizing that this new, well, remember they would have signed the Paris Agreement. Isn't that they realizing that indirectly the Ramsar agreement, but isn't that they now realizing that based on their action, indirectly they're saving the environment?
No, they realize that.
They realize that.
Well, once they get a chance, because among the powerful forces involved in the profit out of the pollution of the environment, a lot of profit in oil and in gas and all those activities, industrial activities, are real profits. And they exert a lot of pressures on government. Once they, if you notice the cycle around the world, you impose restrictions, there's an ease in infection rates, you release the restrictions, then it flares up again. The problem now is that with the new variants and the rate that they spread much faster than the original strain of the COVID. So India, for instance, the government went to sleep on it and thought they had it covered. And they just removed all the restrictions, everything in a mess. And it happened in other countries as well. So I don't think they really realized, look, we did this and it helped the environment, so we go leave it. So, as they feel it better, they go release the restrictions and go on crazy again.
would like to say something concerning Mr. You have a great point about what you now said. Because the reason why they is because of the COVID. They're not really studying the environment. You understand? But the reason why they have all of these protocols and to stay home and stuff like that is because of the coronavirus. So, and as I say, I agree with you have a point.
But I know Enviro wanted to say something.
Well, I was.
You was.
Unfortunately,
It was unsaid.
no, it wasn't.
Is Enviro you're dealing with? Oh,
It was not.
God.
While Mysterio would have gone into the economics, is something I did not want to delve in at this time. The economics of the situation does not satisfy what is happening today. I cannot say for a fact that we are having a reverse of the environmental conditions internationally. I cannot say for a fact that global warming has slowed down. I have no data on that. What I can say for a fact is that governments, countries who have imposed restrictions, and this is where I will agree with Mr. Rio, who have imposed certain restrictions on their country's environment and the interference of the human animal in the environmental conditions have given rise to a new development, a development where species that we would have thought might have gone out of existence are now being rejuvenated. Let me draw an example, a reference. A simple example. What you all in Trinidad call the manikou, or what I call the opossum. The opossum can consume...
Say manikou now because Trinidad know it manikou.
He's just being politically correct.
The opossum...
But we have an international audience, so we also have to say
the opossum or manikou, as locally called, can consume each one, can consume 5,000. One opossum or manikou can consume 5,000 ticks per year.
Ticks?
Ticks. They are immune to the bite of a rattlesnake or coral snake. And I've said this before, at least 50 to 60 times. And because of the opossum, or manikou as you want to call it, we have developed antigens or antivenin. They are the only creature on the face of the earth proven today who does not naturally possesses the ability to withstand rabies. They cannot get rabies. They're immune to it. These are the things that the people of my country, and do not get me wrong, I have no problem with stating that whatever I say should apply to the international community. But I want to direct my comments to my country, the archipelagic chain of Trinidad, Tobago and its dependencies, that we need to understand what the government has done in this country and what governments throughout the world have done. They have given rise to the now argument that the COVID-19 has brought us to our senses. And while many are looking at the lockdowns and certain things and so on in a negative light, I would tend to look at it in a positive light, primarily because we are now giving our country a chance to redevelop our natural resources. And let me make myself abundantly clear. It is not,
Abundantly clear.
it is not natural resources in terms of oil, gases, and so on. Our natural resources extend way beyond that. Our natural resources extend the growth of our mangroves, coastal rehabilitation. It extends to our waterways, our forests, our hills, and our animal life. I am simply stating, and those who wish to disagree with me, please do so in a respectable manner. Send your comments, I will answer it. I will answer all your comments and explain what I mean, and what I say. The fact remains, and I am not stating that I am glad for COVID-19. What I am glad about is that governments throughout the world have sat up and recognized that we have been doing something wrong, and we need to treat with our environmental conditions and our environment in a manner that we have been stating for years, decades ago. We are now coming to terms with the fact that we have neglected our environment. And you know what? Here's the thing. Say what you want. Nature always finds a way.
But hold up. Now you talk about the governments realize, but I don't think, because it comes back because I've never heard on none of the press conferences government acknowledging COVID and the impact on the environment. And not just the impact on the environment, but how it having a positive effect on the environment. All I hear them talking about is
the sad part, the down part, the gloomy, the death. Yeah.
So when you look at it, while some people may not have been taking note, there have other people who have been watching and analyzing, because you don't want to be a rocket scientist. I mean to say, I may not be a scientist by profession.
Yeah, bush
scientist? Yeah, I'm a bush scientist because, you know, I'm answering bush work, but that's the next thing. But you could be a bush scientist to realize that while they're focusing on saving thousands of people, you now have the environment being saved as a result of their measures indirectly helping these same animals, as you were talking about in terms of replenishment, but they have not acknowledged it because they don't realize.
They don't realize what they're doing.
That they're doing. So it's like a chain effect taking place.
Yeah.
So now I'm asking you, have they realized that what they're doing is indirectly or directly being positively affecting the environment?
Now let me tell you something. You used to be talking that here. Next thing you know, they're talking on some platform, and you know, COVID has done this for them. They will take with it.
That's how
Well,
I
we can.
say just now.
We can take on that, but that's what I'm asking you.
All right. Let me answer your question. I can't speak for every country in the world. I can only speak. I can only speak for my country. My country is Trinidad, Tobago, and its dependencies. And I can honestly say that while it is the government of this country have recognized the positive impact.
So they have recognized it.
I don't
Yes.
think so. No. I can't agree with you there, Dr. Enviro.
You see, you will not be privy to some of the information I am. And we have recognized. We have recognized.
We here recognize it. I don't think
And the government have recognized it, that in this instance, the measures that they have taken, is having a positive impact on the country. And while they will not want to go out there and make definitive statements on that, it's because they are wrapped up in one thing and one thing only. They're wrapped up in containing the spread of the virus. And I wouldn't want to elaborate on that.
Why? Hold up. Why? No, because why I want to stop.
We have limited time and I do not want to go beyond my time. I do not want to go beyond my time.
But it's understandable, I mean, because in Trinidad and Tobago, especially in our country, it has also been politicized. What the government has been trying to do to contain the spread of this thing has also become a political football. And so the government, you have to understand the predicament they find themselves in, controlling this thing, trying to please people at the same time, and also having to deal with a lot of misinformation and with just basically political mischief. So the positive side effects on the environment are unintentional, but they really can't focus on that because they're head hot with dealing with foolishness, with too much foolishness.
But Mr. Hear the thing, eh? And they're going to want to ask, because you're saying, yes, while they may be dealing with a lot of things, but I have not heard, not even the environmentalists in this country, because there are a few of them who just rant and rave all over the place, went by Tom, Dick and Harry, and not one of them to tell you
the positive
impact of this COVID on the environment. And it's only we today actually looking at it and actually studying it from a different point of view, because check it out. Turtles coming up on the shore to nest. Now if the beaches was open, we'd have had thousands of people conversing
flogging and interrupting them and all this kind of stuff.
So, and they want to ride on the turtle and all different things. But because of now the lockdown measure,
the turtles are at peace.
The government didn't realize that the turtles would now be at peace, as you rightfully said. So, because the turtles now at peace,
you get more eggs.
Now the eggs might be able to hatch fast, better.
Properly.
And properly.
More hatchlings.
You might have more people, more
hatchlings.
More of the turtles going out to the sea.
Yeah.
Lady and gentlemen, have I not explained myself properly?
No, you said you didn't want to go into...
If I have not, let me explain it now.
Well, remember we are short on time.
Yes, we're limited on time.
So we're limited on time.
As you rightfully said.
The Prime Minister of the country today have indicated that they are not going to lock down those who seek the interest of the turtles. Was it just by rant or by design? The fact remains, while the Prime Minister of the country, whose sole purpose is to prevent his population and his charges from dying off on a virus or pathogen that at this time is running rampant throughout the world. The fact remains that he have acknowledged the positive impact of the environment by his simply by stating that one statement, that those who are responsible for encouraging the turtles nesting shall be exempted from everything. All they need to do is to wear their mask and maintain social distancing. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to ask a whole bunch of stupid questions.
I find you rather insulting this evening, and I don't appreciate that.
But
there is no stupid question, Dr. Enquirer.
No. Let me make it politically correct.
I wasn't even going to ask
I
that.
know.
Look, like you were with the fight
as I always say, it's my cousin, and we have always, as siblings, growing up over the years, we have always had a tit for tat, and it is just natural that I become defensive whenever she starts to speak.
So, I could say something now.
Well, we're not going to wrap up, you know.
Just give me 2 seconds, boy. What happened to you?
Oh, God, you want to beat me now?
You're all wide up.
Right. As Dr. Enquirer was saying concerning the turtles and the people that look after them, why I think personally the turtles them will have a better chance now. If they had Tom, Dick, Harry, Mary, Jane going to see the turtles, it's just the people that sing about the animal that probably tagging, and for scientific reasons they are there. The wider population, the imps, the idiots and the fools, not there.
And you know what is going to be good? More the turtles will be allowed to come up on shore without going through the fishing nets.
You understand?
Wait, before. I didn't actually hear the full presentation by the Prime Minister today, but I'm very encouraged or heartened by the fact you mentioned he did mention how the people seeing about it was being exempt from the Now, it probably bodes well for future policy once post-COVID. In other words, if the Prime Minister and the leadership have recognized that the positive effects of COVID restrictions on the environment, it probably suggests that once the COVID is over, some proper environmental policy to maintain what has started sort of as a by-product COVID restrictions.
And we're pushing Dr. Enquirer for that.
So what we have done here, I think, is probably the best start.
Well, you want me to tell you what's the thing that the Prime Minister will have talked about in terms of the environment now? In terms of the recommendation, washing down the buildings, cleaning back the streets. Well, we had to continue washing the hands, sanitizing it, but washing down the buildings, where people just want to stand up and we will say pee, but it's very urinate. But,
which is a charge.
Which is a charge, but at least they'll be washing down the buildings, washing down the streets, and we're going and fight a different fight, which is environment versus COVID. But people...
One thing I just want to say a pleasant good afternoon to my girlfriend Natasha. Hi Natty, thanks for watching.
I want to say one thing. Ladies and gentlemen, cheers.
Salute.
When my glass empty.
Diana, not in the table full.
But see you all on the next
on the flip side.
Let me hear the next one. Say the correct thing.
What's the one?
The rum.
Oh, see you all in the next episode of the Rum Shop Talk. And by that time we might get a leash for the native when they come next time. See you next time.
All in good fun, Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. All in good fun.